Back in 2020, AEW partnered with Jazzwares to create a line of action figures based on the wrestlers of All Elite Wrestling. This started with the line of AEW Unrivaled, and then eventually added the AEW Unmatched line. Come with me, and let's take a look back at the history of AEW figures. In this video, we will be looking at Series 1 of AEW Unrivaled, both the main line and all of the rare exclusives. If you would like to see more of this series, make sure you like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and head into the studio and check out Series 1 of AEW Unrivaled. From parts unknown, I'm Mr. Hartgrave, and this is a video on AEW Unrivaled Series 1. And we're going to start off with my collection here. I'm going to show you the figures that I've been able to pick up from this collection, from this time period, from the start of AEW figures. And then we're going to have a look at every single figure, the rare ones, the ones that I haven't been able to obtain yet, the ones that I would never be able to obtain, the super expensive ones, and all that kind of stuff. This series has two versions. There's version 1, and then there's Series 1 version, no version, and then Series 1 V2. So my Cody is a Series 1 V2, and what they had to do was fix the coloring of the figures. Now you're going to see, when I show you the figures close up, the difference in color between Cody and Kenny Omega, and yeah, they're just like a little too light. The non-version 2 figures are a little too light. Now, I'm not actually sure which one is more rare, the version 2 or the regular version. I would actually assume that the regular versions are more rare. But I'm super excited to have both these figures in my collection, as this is the first line of figures that AEW ever put out. So there's Cody Rhodes, and he's got his hammer, and he's the version 2 Cody, and he looks pretty great. Big fan of that figure. I was able to pick them up on eBay for a great price. Normally they go for around $60 on eBay. So if you're looking to pick up a Cody Series 1, either version 1 or version 2, probably around 60 bucks. All right, next up in my collection, I've got a Kenny Omega Unrivaled Series 1. Now, this is the one that has the kind of incorrect coloring on it. So you can see there that he's much lighter than the Cody figure. They kind of corrected out the flesh tones going forward. I don't think they had any other coloring issues. I don't know. We'll find out, guys, as we go through the history of AEW action figures on, if they messed up or had any other production errors. But this was definitely a bit of a production error. I ended up picking up this figure at Pandora's Box in New Jersey. If you actually want to see me pick up this figure, there's another video on this channel where I go to Pandora's Box. We do a great toy hunt there. Really cool, guys. Make sure you check that out, and make sure you check out this Kenny Omega figure. Kenny Omega is one of my favorite wrestlers. He's one of everybody. He's like the best wrestler in the world, right? That won't spark the comments off at all down there in the comments section. Everything will be fine. All right. I hope you enjoyed that figure. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have some exclusives. We have some ringside exclusive figures, and these were released around the start of AEW, and I'm really happy to have been able to add these to my collection. The first one, what do we have here? That's a little bit of the bubbly. All right, we've done an unboxing video on this. This figure, this Jericho figure, there's a Jericho action figure in here. If you want to see everything that's in this box, there's another video on this channel where I unbox this, and that video is great, and you got to really see all the stuff in here. It really recreates the moment where Jericho won the AEW championship, and he went backstage, and he found that awful catering spread. Check this out. Check out that unboxing video. Get your hands on one of these. This set, it still goes pretty inexpensively. I was able to pick it up at a very good price on eBay, and you can find them as well for a pretty good price. I think they normally go around between $40 and $60, so you can definitely find it around that price point still, and definitely pick it up. It's great. The cool thing is you can unbox it, and you can take the figure out, and then you can put it back on the shelf just like this, And so you kind of get two pieces. You kind of get the little bit of bubbly bottle recreation. They actually made these. I don't know if they're still shipping out this champagne, but it's a really cool set. If you want to look inside that, I got a video on that. All right, finally, the last thing I have from this time period is the Cody Rhodes Blood Brothers, Cody and Dustin Rhodes Blood Brothers Blood and Guts figures. This is the first in a line of Blood and Guts figures. I love this set. I think these are fantastic. It's actually the same Cody as the Series 1 Cody, as it's the same Cody figure, but now with blood on him. Well, what's not to love about that? So you've got Cody on there. They did not have a Dustin at this time. I'm not sure how it compares to the Dustin figure that came out later, but I think it's kind of unique. I like the height difference you can see on them. The detail on the figure is on both figures is great. This is an iconic match. I love the back photos on these. They really get like the bloodiest parts that they can show. The box is not quite as deluxe as the other boxes that are going to come out in the Blood and Guts line. It feels like this is kind of a prototype for what they would end up doing later on, with more embossed, more kind of raised blood all over the thing. This has a little bit of that of that effect, of that quality to it, but not as much as the other Blood and Guts figures that are going to come out. Definitely look for this one. This one I really had to hunt for. I got a good deal on it, but this is probably the most expensive figure that I have, or most expensive set piece of this time period that I have, is this one right here. I think normally you're looking at about $80 for this. This is kind of a coveted piece. Amazing match. If you haven't watched this match, you got to go back and watch this match. It's one of the best. It's like the best brother feud matches, death matches, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a death match. It's a normal match, but just Dustin bleeds all over the place. Bleeds on his brother, bleeds on himself, bleeds on the crowd. Phenomenal piece of AEW history. I'm very proud to have it represented on this shelf. All right, let's go to the historical documents and let's look at everything else that's available. Let's see what else you could pick up from this line if you were so inclined. Keep digging.
Here is everything. Okay, so we're going to the wrestling figure database and we are going to look at every single piece of AEW Unrivaled, all the exclusives, everything that came out around that time. So starting up here at the top, you can see there was a couple of wrestling rings. There was either a basic wrestling ring. Now I've seen the basic wrestling ring with no action figures. I've seen that in stores all over the place. Usually going for more money than I'd want to spend on it. I don't know, maybe at some point I'll pick one of those up. I would definitely want to pick up one of the action rings that has a figure attached to it. Now there's some that come out later, but this one, I didn't even know that this existed. There's an action ring with an exclusive Cody Rhodes figure attached to it. Now, that's something I'm going to keep my eye out for when I go out and do these toy hunts. If I find that at a reasonable price, that is something I'll definitely pick up. Now, there you can see the little bit of the bubbly Jericho, the Blood and Guts, Cody and Dustin. So I already have those in my collection. Those are great pieces. I would highly recommend those. Yeah, the Blood Brothers figure is just so good. All right, another cool wrestling ring that they had out at the time here comes with an exclusive Kenny Omega. Now I think this is the one that I want the most. This is like the deluxe ring, and it has a really cool exclusive Kenny Omega with like the green gear, the green and black gear that he didn't really wear that much in AEW there in 2019 and 2020. But man, I would go for that one. It's ringside exclusive wrestling ring. It's got the steps on there as well. I don't think the other ones don't have steps. So yeah, if you want ring steps, that's the one to go with. Now here are all of the kind of miscolored line. These are all the Series 1, version 1. The version 2s have more realistic flesh tone. So that's one way you can tell the difference. The other way is right down at the bottom. If you saw in the figure when I spun it around there, it just says version 2 right under it. So I don't know if you want to collect both of them, if you're looking for one, if you want the kind of messed up ones or the nicer ones, I don't know. But there's Cody Rhodes, there's Kenny Omega. So that's 1 and 2. I have those in my collection. They also have Young Bucks from this time, like in their Vegas gear and their Double or Nothing Elvis tribute gear. So that I haven't picked them up yet. I think I'd be waiting for a good price on those. I haven't seen a great price on those going around. Those are pretty expensive. Brandy Rhodes is another interesting one. Oh man, I'd love to pick up a Brandy Rhodes because I think this is the only Brandy Rhodes figure. I don't know if we go through the other series, if there's other Brandy Rhodes, but I think this might be the only one because she wasn't that popular of a wrestler, to say the least. You know, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. I like Brandy Rhodes. I don't have a problem with her, but a lot of people, a lot of fans, you know, really aren't fans of Brandy Rhodes. So people are trying to sell this Brandy Rhodes figure for around $60. Really, all the figures from this series, the basic figures from Series 1, Unrivaled, are all going for around $60. Brandy Rhodes, I think they're dreaming. I can't imagine anyone paying $60 for a Brandy Rhodes. I won't do it. And like I said, I like Brandy Rhodes. So really, my price point for these figures, just the basic figures, are around $20. That's really where I want to be. $30, okay. Above that, I'm going to have to really, really like it. Like the Jericho here, I don't have that in my collection. That's one I'm interested in adding. I think this is a very cool Jericho from the... I like no gimmick Jericho. Quite honestly, I believe that this is like no gimmick Jericho, and that's what I kind of like the best. The gimmicks are fun. Some of them work better than others. I like no gimmick Jericho. I think this is really cool. So I'd like to add that one to my collection. All right. Now, there's a couple of Chase figures in this line. There's just 2. These are the very first 2 Chase figures in the Unrivaled line. You have a Cody Rhodes here, 1 of 500. So that's as rare as they get. You got 1 out of 500, which is this one, 1 out of 1,000, 1 out of 3,000, and 1 out of 5,000. Now, this Cody Rhodes is so rare, I couldn't find any eBay listings for it at all. I really don't have an idea of what the value on this is. But if I had to guess, it'd be somewhere near what other Cody Rhodes rare figures are going for. This is a 1 out of 1,000 Cody Rhodes from a different series. It's going for around $600. So, I don't know. This might be a little more valuable, a little more expensive because it's 1 out of 500. It's from the first series. This might be one of the most expensive figures out of all of the AEW, like single figures. Some of the sets might get up to more, right? Some of the, like the wrestling ring, the Kenny Omega exclusive wrestling ring, that one, I don't even, you know what? That's not even a Chase though. So I don't even, that's not even as much. Like these are really it. Like this Cody Rhodes and then the next figure that I'm going to show you are probably the most expensive figures out of all of the single boxed AEW figures. So I can't even, I wouldn't even want to put a price on it. I would probably say around $1,000 is probably about what this figure is going to go for, being the first series. I don't know if there's a version 1 and a version 2 of it. If there's a version 1 and a version 2 of it, version 1 is probably more expensive than version. I don't know what they did. You know what? They only made like 500 of them, so I don't think there's even a version 1, version 2 situation on this. But there might be a situation where the color tones are off, and that kind, I don't know, that might add to the rarity. I don't know. It's just such a unique piece from a time where people might not have been, nobody knew what these things were going to be valued at that time. And it's not like there's like a huge market for AEW figures out there, but I don't know. You let me know down in the comments what you think this Cody 1 out of 500 is worth. All right. The other one is a Jericho figure. This is a Chase figure. Now, he doesn't have the stamp on it here on the listing, but I'm going to assume that he's 1 out of 500 as well. I think this is before they added the different rarity levels to their chases, But I don't know. Once again, very little information exists on this Jericho Chase figure. Almost none. I couldn't find any listings. I've never seen it. I didn't even know it existed. I kind of knew the Cody one existed, but actually it was a different one. The one I was thinking about was from a different series that came later. So really, I didn't even know these existed. And that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video was to kind of share that. I stumbled upon this and I was like, well, this is cool. I bet people don't know some of this stuff. Let's make videos on it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Once again, if you can like, if you can subscribe, let me know down in the comments if you want to see me go through every single series of the Unrivaled and Unmatched action figure lines. I'd be more than happy to do that. I can show you the pieces that I picked up. We can go through the history and have a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a lot of other great videos on this channel. Right in this playlist, we got toy hunts, we got unboxings, all that kind of great stuff. So make sure you check them out, and grave diggers, keep digging.
I've seen the demon's face. I've heard a death place. I fall down on my knees in praise of the horrible things that took her away.